government statistic. 250,000 plus girls in the last 25 years have been raped by predominantly Pakistani Muslim men. That was Lord Malcolm Pearson in the House of Lords who said that. It was not me. So don't get mad at me. You go get mad at Lord Malcolm Pearson.
Can I just tell you this sophistry, this trick that they do? So they do it here in America with immigrants. I don't know anything about that number, but here in America, immigrants.
You don't know anything about that number, so shut the fuck up. Maybe do some research before you embarrass yourself in front of everybody. He has the numbers and you don't. He has the numbers, he has the sources, he has the evidence, and your response is like, oh, you probably want to do it yourself. That's why you're thinking about it. What a comeback.
Immigrants commit less crime. In fact, legalized immigrants like me, naturalized citizens like me, commit a quarter of the crime. So a person born in America is 4 times more likely to commit crime, right? But what they do is they find 1 or 2 cases or a series of cases over 25 years.
So wait, are you talking about, first of all, look at this. He's talking about crimes, and then he's talking about all legal migrants, and he's talking United States rather than the UK. So first of all, United States does a much better job filtering migration to the United States compared to European countries. So on average, legal migrants in the United States are a lot more law-abiding, especially because there's an ocean between United States and North Africa and the Middle East. So the cost of travel to United States is significantly higher. So that means that that automatically is going to filter out a lot of people, a lot of more problematic people, right? And he's only focusing on legal migration. If you focus on illegal migration coming from south of the US, then those crime rates will look a lot different. In fact, it would look 100%. Like, here's an interesting thing. He's talking about legal migration. There's so many things that he adjusted for to be able to make that claim. First of all, he didn't isolate Muslims. He talked generous. This is the level of dishonesty here. Okay, instead of talking about the Muslim population, he's talking about migrants. He's focusing on legal migration, and he's doing US instead of the UK. You see how that changes everything? By the fact when he grouped all migrants together instead of just the Muslim, looking at Muslims, what he did is he basically, Jewish people, Japanese people, South Korean people, he basically mixed all of those people with the Muslims, so that will improve the numbers. 1. 2, he's focusing on legal migration, which means that all the illegal migrants are not going to be counted when it comes to how much crimes they commit. And by the way, 100% of illegal migrants commit crimes. You know how I know that? Because they illegally entered the country. So that will change your numbers. That's 2. And 3, he focused on the United States legal migration, meaning that the filtering of who gets to get in is significantly different from Europe because of the distance and the cost of travel and the lowering of the numbers, which makes the filtering easier. Do you guys get those 3 points? By the way, I just thought of these 3 points right now at the top of my head. So if I had more time, I would tell you what other points, like why his numbers look different from the UK. So he's comparing, this is a false analogy. He's comparing apples to oranges. Did everything I said to you guys, did that make sense? Because I want you guys to understand what I'm saying here. All right? And what that man is actually saying is actually statistically correct, and Cenk doesn't know that, so he just assumes it's wrong without actually checking it. Actually, he probably knows. He's just pretending. Right? So let me actually here.
And you go, look at the number of cases. Now, if you did that with, as Piers said, with white Christians, you would have a number that is so much higher. But they don't say that, and I wouldn't say that. Does that mean all white Christians do it? Of course not. Of course not. But these guys who want this...
White Christians per capita in the UK or total numbers? Because there's more white Christians in the UK than Muslims.
Spread hatred. They go and cherry pick numbers which are much, much worse for the native born or for white Christians. But we don't cherry.
Not total number wise, they might be higher, but not per capita. Not per capita. Okay, look at this. Amir, thank you so much for the membership gifts. Very generous. Always doing this. Almost like you do this so many days. Like, thank you. Continuous support all the time for the channel. And then Casey also gave us a super chat saying, God, good Lord, I hate this fat ass. I hate this fat ass. Yes, yeah. I mean, he deserves the hate. He deserves the hate. But let me actually quickly tell you what the number, guys. Let's get nerdy a little bit with the numbers, okay? Because I wanted to make sure that we're not just making stuff up, okay? And also we look at both sides. Like we don't want to exaggerate here, right? Let's be fair to this, based on the claim that was just made here, because we want to see, okay, if we have evidence for, because we already checked that the per capita basis is true, that the Pakistani Muslim population is more responsible for this more on a per capita basis. We already checked that. But he was also making the claim that this is Islamically motivated, right? He made that claim as well. So we should check that. So if we're looking at group-based child sexual exploitation, which is called CSE, if we look at those cases, so this is basically what people refer to as rape jihad. So there's strong evidence of demographic patterns plus cultural and religious justifications in some cases confirmed by official inquiries up to the 2025 to 2026. However, this does not describe all UK sexual assaults, obviously, right? So let's look at the demographic pattern. In several major UK grooming gang scandals, like Rotherham and Oxford, Telford, Rochdale, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right? So the perpetrators were disproportionately men of Pakistani heritage who are overwhelmingly Muslims. Victims were predominantly white British non-Muslim girls, often vulnerable in care from troubled backgrounds. Okay, so why is it that these people were not going for brown girls? Why is it that these people weren't going for Muslim girls? Okay, why is it? Because why wouldn't these grooming gangs target? There are a lot of vulnerable young girls in Muslim communities, and they are more accessible to these people. So why did they focus on white girls? Any guesses in the chat? So it says this is not the majority of all UK child abuses. Obviously, most is familial or by white offenders. Obviously, total number wise, it would be mostly white because most people in the UK are white. Okay, but it is a documented pattern in the on-street grooming gang model. And we have victim testimonies. Perpetrators expressed religious superiority over non-Muslims, kuffar, infidels, basically. So a lot of these victims, while they were being raped, they testified that their perpetrators expressed to them their religious superiority. That's a high indication that their activities, like they were partly motivated by religion to do this.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.